please consider supporting the not-so-great Fawful's Minion on Patreon for just $1 a month. Link down in the description. The sweet smell of polygons. Welcome back to Road to Remastery. Lucky Route 7 looking a near lawsuit level like memory lane. Time to dust off the suing machine. Or I could, play the fucking games. That sounds way better. An origin story to rival my hall closet. Once a young shithead was gifted some stupid console. Now he makes videos on why he's so unique. Oh, that's fresh. Nah, we all grew up on a signature console. Just turns out mine was the 64th slice of heaven. The Nintendo 64 is what made my life fun. The gatekeeper of quality 3D. And I'm once again tasked with recapping the best's best. One rule before your boy flies off his handle. Only one game per franchise. It makes for better diversity, and it frees up space for some new highlights. So if you wonder where so-and-so is, it's simply because there's only so much room. I love them all anyway, so go nuts and post your faves in the comments too. Sound off if you're a 90s kid. N64 logo, take me away. You know that feeling when you gotta take a wicked piss, but you're contractually locked inside a kid's backyard birthday party? What's a legendary dev team to do? Yep, right in the punch bowl. As the only N64 game to go through puberty before learning the ABCs, Conker's Bad Fur Day is the fish-scented orange in a basket of apples. This sick fuck of a 3D platformer gave not one damn about the Nintendo seal of approval, so much that it felt the need to dookie all over it. And Nintendo allowed it. Rare owned that damn console. Conker's my least favorite of their 3D platformers, however, just through the process of ranking, mind you, cause there's no way I can deny the, interesting flavor. Everyone's favorite Raunch title features some of the most inappropriate content I've seen in any game, and it's baffling how it exists on a Nintendo console. It follows Conker, the cute innocent squirrel from Diddy Kong Racing, partaking in the not so cute and innocent shtick of gratuitous violence, lewd exploitation, and an unhealthy storm of referential and bodily humor. Okay, 1. Why? And 2, do you accept tips? I mean, yeah, it's a little much at times, and most of the humor isn't actually smart or clever in the slightest. But damn, where else are you gonna place something like this? Bad Fur Day kinda plays out like an old Family Guy episode. You know, the good ones. It's so off the wall and self-aware of its filthy tone and excessive pop culture references, it's hard not to take it all in stride. Just get lost in all the foul language, crude jokes, the shit. I'm not kidding about the shit, man. It's fucking everywhere. Not even mentioning the technical excellence and oddball spin on 3D platforming. There's definitely a lot of inherent joy in the gameplay. It's unique as all hell, even if it insists on dropping a bag on your cup of tea. Claps for you, ya cheeky little blighters. Yup, it's him. Nostalgia stalks its prey like some kind of tiptoeing ninja kitty. Oh, squeak squeak, I'm the mouse. Well, come get me, Whiskers. I'm fucking tasty. Trusting the one chump somehow even whiter than me initially looks to raise the red flag, but nah. He's a good boy. Sometimes I have trouble wondering if his second game on the console is, though. Bomberman Heroes, one of the strangest mainline titles for any flagship mascot I've ever seen. Hudson must have had a collective beer bomb, cause the fruits of their labor seen here Are they safe to eat? Running around in a nuke-littered maze for 15 damn years has gotta leave you craving some fresh air. So props for updating your working conditions. But anybody else think this is weird? When did White Bomber learn how to fucking jump? And what the whatting what? A 3D platformer, huh? Someone's brave. Yeah, it's a perfect adaptation. Remember the level in Bomberman where a pink furry bitch whipped you to holy hell? I love that one. None of this crap really seems to fit the series, but son of a bitch, why do I love it so much? Just this combination of furry and out of bounds gameplay, it makes Bomberman Hero really stand out, demolishing your way through 5 stage-soaked planets, bootlegged Star Wars writing and acid-inspired enemies. It's a blast, he said with a palm on his face. I don't really mind the super obvious, possibly shameless, copying of Mario 64's outline, since it's more about conquering linear set pieces and blasting anything with the face to smithereens, and hell, performance is based on points. So in a way, it kinda does live up to the arcade-like spirit of his more famous titles. Yes, I have huge nostalgic bias, thank you Graham, but I still do see something pretty special. I care not if it's blessed or messed. I'm a sucker for a dumb fun quest. The game's eye. Golden Eye. Oh man, where did the time go? I'd check my watch, but my face isn't laser proof. What do you know? The king of puke textured heat packing made it on here. Hell yeah. Yup, and it's not even my favorite shooter on the console. You shaken or stirred? Well, I'm entertained. Rare's second blow to the childhood is one of the most interesting games to look back on, be it through nostalgia goggles thicker than plexiglass, or a well-versed sense of humor. Any revisit to the most popular movie-licensed title in gaming casts the past 2 decades of virtual evolution in a surreal light. The kind that makes your eyes water, brain all tingly, and you ponder what the fuck life even is. It's a trip. Oftentimes over your own shoelaces. What the hell's this shit? I can't free aim while I walk? You can't strafe while you're zoomed? Where's the Wazda? Ah, my sworn nemesis, Microsoft Paint. To point and laugh at the elderly is a round trip to burning in 64-bit hell, but I implore you, badly pixelated Satan, could you pass the popcorn? GoldenEye's age may be toking up the sacred skunk with the Hubble telescope, but hey, it's still really fun. The adaptation of James Bond goodness is faithful to the point of worship. The single-player campaign's rhythm of completing really specific missions within remarkably lonely environments made for a refreshing brand of impromptu exploration and problem-solving, aka spy stuff. The raw architecture and atmosphere make it surprisingly immersive, and its befitting length and difficulty, fuck you Aztec, offers up a very strong solo experience, even 21 years later. Multiplayer? Never cared. Gee, I just can't remember why. Grandpa may smell like mummy farts, but hell if I don't still love him.
For old times, Logan?
No. Forever. What's that smell?
Well, it sure ain't Honey Nut fucking Cheerios.
Smells sweet. Is it sweet? Turn right on to yeah! I'll admit straight up, it's more than the slightest bit odd for me to hold old Bickety Buchanan Bumbles up in the foreground of this legendary family photo, but don't you fucking sit there and tell me my baby's too fugly. Yeah, nobody really talks about Buck Bumble. Thankfully, that's just what I is. Little did I expect that the weird-ass byproduct of Star Fox dev team Argonauts, Funky Spunk, would would end up being by far my most rented childhood game. The concept alone sounds like it was made by my silly toddler brain. Bugs, robots, shooting, flying. I was all over that shit like a stupid little fly. And this quirky shooter hooked me so well, you'd swear it was an abduction, transmuting the entire insect kingdom into armadas upon armadas of radioactive cyberpunk arthropods. Sounds way better than any jazz ever could. Can't let those daydreaming creepy crawlies take over a random garden in the UK, no. Send in some damn cyborg Bumblebee with the whack-ass theme song to fucking eradicate them. That's wild. Not the kind of buzzing you want to hear sneaking up on your ear.
Buzz, 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 buzz.
I've seen billionaires less loaded than this pesticide with wings. Buck has so goddamn many cool weapons. It's nuts. Seeker lasers, scatter grenades, megaton blaster, dual EMP cannons. Christ all fucking mighty, you're killing bugs, not Thanos. With a novel premise, incredibly fun weapons, and a sizable campaign, Buck Bumbles that mysterious leftover Chinese in the corner of the fridge. Sure, it's weird and probably shouldn't even be there, but it's still good to eat. I can play this motherbucker all Monte Mula Day. Hey! Oh, there he is. Crowd's been looking all over for you. Slaughtering bitches like a good boy. I'm gonna die. Oh, please, people. Like I'd forget to pack the genocidal gumdrops. A sweet treat, no doubt. Here, manja. Got a kick to it. As the leading authority on unadulterated joy, Kirby sure as hell knows where it's at, and despite arriving to it later than every other game on here, the Pink Pillagers kickoff to the 3D generation sank in stupidly fast. Like most of my favorite N64 games, Kirby the Crystal Shards wins some of the highest esteem I dare to muster. It's the tier up top I like to call respect. Just like modern day animated cinema, the days of the N64 heavily favored the great pilgrimage to 3D, rather than sticking with 2D. HAL said fuck that and sculpted the last of the Dark Matter trilogy to play in the second dimension whilst thriving in newfangled 3D aesthetics. And can I just say, bravo! That took brains as much as it did balls. To compound the admirable artistic choices, Kirby 64 innovates the already innovative gameplay of its puffy namesake through mix abilities. Any kid growing up with older or simpler games in the series has always dreamt of being able to combine copy abilities. It ain't called Dreamland for nothing, kid. Emphasis on nut, cause it's like a DIY copy ability lab. You got everyone's favorites: Star Wars, Terrorist, Unyielding Agony, and Frosty the Suicide Bomber. Frosty the Bomber had to hurry on his way, for he looked bizarre, screaming yah-ha-har, Allahu fucking bar. Just wow. Coupled with standard Kirby fare, great bosses, wonderful soundtrack, nice charm, I really admire this whole package. Definitely one of my favorite Kirby games. Where's it rank? Haha, to be continued. The case of which N64 Mario game reigns supreme stumps a great many. Luckily, I found a clue. Ye who be thin as the sheet of the paper, put an end to this tricky caper. Great! Of all things to do, throw a party, go death racing with the fellas, take home a blocky tennis or golf trophy, relive gaming history, and you opt to read a fucking book. God damn. Losers! Choke on your chicken dinner, why don't you? If taking the L means I get to play the best RPG of the 5th generation, maybe I don't want to win? Can I just say what a freaking great idea this was? To retell epic adventures of enchanting fantasy, but read it like a pop-up book. The great spirits thine devastated land wishes upon, beseech the valiant warrior of the stars. Booga! Bootleg Ninja Turtles, motherfucker! See, that's the brilliance behind Paper Mario. It knows. It knows what we want. We want serious. We want funny. Hard, easy, creative, simple, timeless, classic, Marco Polo! Everything. And by some miracle, it has all of that. Intelligent Systems didn't get their name for nothing. They turned the flat into well-rounded and addictive role-playing charmer following the Mario universe in storybook form. The second Jumpman journey through the command blocks is glazed with old-fashioned elbow grease and some truly out-there awesome sauce. From onset to epilogue, it combines stimulating turn-based gameplay, age-old storytelling, and all the while reinventing the iconic Mario cast and world as a genuine and immersive slice of fiction. It's just so likable, and carrying over the SNES Mario RPG's timed inputs enhances the player's influence while maintaining the cerebral tension of timed strategy. I respect the shit out of Paper Mario for its drive to live and breathe creative, and just that it's still so damn fun. Once upon a time, those words were a cliche. Now, with Mario in the lead, I can't help but scream, yay!
Donkey Kong.
It's finally here, existing for you. You all know the words, so you'll join in too. My hands are together, and you're damn right I'm gonna clap. Hello again, Rare. Should have called yourself Common, because this is the 3rd title of yours to make an appearance. And spoiler alert, it's not the last. But you know what? Sometimes I really want it to be. Because holy goddamn banana nut muffins! I love Donkey Kong 64. I vote to change the meaning of monkeying around for frickin' ever. Because what Britain's Brightest did with DK was always top of the line, amazing, absolutely badass. And it's no less high tier with the 64 beautiful bits Papa Nintendo gifted them. I'll put it as straight as my dong. DK64 is the most valuable game on the system. No, it's not the most innovative. It's not even my personal favorite, but good lord, there is not a single N64 game that even rivals the sheer amount of content this one offers. 200. Do you hear me? 200 motherfucking golden important thingies. 5 playable characters, and worlds so big, most games a damn decade later can't match the size. As far as the famous Rareware handle goes, DK64 is easily the most extreme case. You collect shit, and holy fuck do you collect shit! Many variations of dozens of character-specific collectibles spread out over 7 continent-sized worlds. This is not a game for the impatient, but it is for the adventurous. I mean, yeah, all those different things you gotta scour for is a little silly, but god damn it, is it satisfying to complete. All the polish, variety, and charm brings out some incredibly wide, incredibly goofy smiles out of me. The realistic monkey sounds, the silly character moments, and the almighty banana. I love you fucking bastards. It may stoop low, and oh god why, but this game's one hell of a buy. Huh! Time has a way of changing you. Refusing to heed its effect is an admission of fear. Thou haveth courage. Does thou haveth good reason? I may just be one man in a sea of way too fucking much, but I'll never be able to pay off my thanks in such quantity. You may not care why, but the choice between the 2 and 64 Zelda titles has always been a cinch for me. Majora's Mask is obviously excellent on all merits, but I'll be honest, I love it more as a handheld title. So if I ever make a list of my favorite 3DS games, you know who to expect. Ocarina of Time is one of the few games where just looking at the cartridge chills my spine. The game, the myth, the legend, reinstated classic as the magic word. The 3D's Link's quintessential adventure epitomizes our damn. The journey from boy without a fairy to man with all the right stuff is one that holds no hands nor expense. A 7-year trek across time, massive fields, 8 fantastic dungeons, and through emphatic boss battles is not only unimaginably fun, but truly unreal for even the final breaths of the 20th century. It's bonkers what they accomplished, in that even 20 years later, it's still an unfazed phenomenon. I'm a broken record, I know, but any record playing Saria's song on repeat all day can only be so grating. It's hot beat. Whoa, dance with me, CJ. Indulging in Hyrule's most pivotal event brings to light just how much oomph Oot has in it. Just the feeling, this grand realization that you're living out one of the great big fairy tales. You come to see it's far more special than the technical sensation most critics know it to be. You are Link. You are the legend. It's incredible. I couldn't care less about faceless innovation, but the smile, the awe it puts on my very own, never forget. The infinity-wide reach of Rare's great golden glow fades at long last. It seemed like nothing could keep these galaxy-brained game-changers from owning every inch of ground they broke. In the end, only a push to the ultimate limits could challenge their might, which might be their very best. You know, despite my bias, perhaps I should ponder the minority's claim. Maybe the original is better. It's not. It's really not. I'm extremely comfortable in proclaiming that Banjo-Tooie is the T2 of gaming sequels. The greatest 3D platformer of the 5th generation by a personally massive margin. Chapter 2 for Rare's definitive mascots is tangible proof that Jesus didn't die in vain. Tooie continues the nerdgasmic voyage through oceans of enticing collectibles and majestic worlds. Literally taking everything that made the original its own masterpiece and expanding every dimension to the fullest. Bosses for each world, transformations for each world, bigger worlds, every ability carried over and doubled, and most impressive of all, every single world and inch of the hub interconnects. Events triggered in one place affect another, and yet every world is self-contained. It's a brilliant in-between of fragmented level design and early open-world architecture, and with a plot of revenge devastating Banjo and Kazooie's whole environment, the happy-go-lucky icons from Spiral Mountain believably transition into this all-around darker tone, but without breaking character or watering down their flagship wit. It's amazing. Don't forget 90 Jiggies, outstanding variety, and Grant Kirkhope composing his ass off. It just keeps piling on. Banjo-Tooie will never get enough of my respect. They did so much justice to the first. The console has trouble handling it. It's unmistakably my favorite rare game of all time. A mandatory addition to any Platform Junkies collection. At the end of every epic journey, the hand that guided strums the chord you long to hear most. Alas, the beginning is the sweetest sound of all. Allow me to exchange a sound of my own. Thank you. Thank you. When faced with the wide open galaxy of stellar entertainment, I wish upon only one star to realize my own silly dream. Star Fox 64 is without a single doubt in my mind the most important video game to ever come into my life. You're looking at the sole reason I pursued my video game passion. A barely 4-year-old Fawful's Minion walked into the store with his top-tier mom to get the family a game console. While she gravitated towards a Diddy Kong Racing bundle, I grew hypnotized by the game featured in the demo, Star Fox 64. Alas, it was sold out, and we took home Diddy Kong. The moment I gazed at the demo screen, the heart of a gamer took over my being. One Christmas later, I was reunited with the spark that ignited the passion I lead with to this very day. This is where it all began. My childhood fantasy of space travel became a reality in the epic odyssey to free Lilat from Andross's tyranny as motherfucking Fox McCloud. Who knows, maybe my story doesn't mean a damn thing to you, but it's everything to me. How fortunate that the video game that converted me to Blissgianity turned out this excellent chapter in Nintendo history. Their epic quest to the 7th dimension to defeat the giant monkey man is littered with illegally good merits. The 15 phenomenal phases of the legendary Lilat Wars masterfully paraphrases the on-rails shooter subgenre in its entirety, and the execution leaves nothing to be desired. Blasting the Durkins out of deep space douchebags in Star Fox's signature R-Wing, Landmaster, and Blue Marine is an addiction I refuse to clean myself of. Stimulating controls alongside some of Koji Kondo's best music ever, and technical advances like the large library of meme-tastic voice work and rumble pack push this masterpiece into legacy status. It's important not only to me, but anybody that first held a controller in its astronomical wake. The universe is bowing down and its planets are clapping. This is being Fawful's Minion. It's time for me to go now. Come back in one piece, okay? All Aircraft Report. Give it up for the high-tier patrons. Shade 2800, Jordan Osceola, Tubazo 1989, You Can't See Martin 19, Crazy Quillman 157, James Ward, Diamond Ice, Raw is Jimbo, Skellington 977, Methtron 5000, Luke Razor, Goldsbro TSG, Thomas Drury, Spark of Dusk 777, Cole the Wren's Castle, Solitaire Seamus, Jurway, Sensei Spyro, Inkling Gamer, Alfredo Jones, Green Moonlight, Antasma's Follower, Senti Espion, Lucario Smash 246, Godfalking Dammit, Chibi Emiko, Sephi 90, Green Dragon 53, Maple Man 22, Smash Mario Pro 2000, Roberto Del Fuego, Grandmaster Augustus, Zack Attacker, and Scavvy. May we meet again.